Time for business. Kate Moody joins us. Good evening, Kate. Now, after Carlos Ghosn's long press appearance this afternoon, it was like holding court, wasn't it, in many ways? We're starting to get some reactions from workers at the companies where he once lauded it.
Yes, absolutely. And that didn't go unnoticed, it has to be said. A lot of people saying he's known for being a PR pro, and that obviously hasn't changed despite all those months in Japan. Now, unions at Renault here in France have said that their former boss should be judged by the French legal system. In addition to those allegations of financial misconduct in Japan as the then head of Nissan, Ghosn is also under investigation here for possible misuse of company funds. On Wednesday afternoon, he said he would be prepared to address French officials about those claims, but union leaders said he hadn't faced a real challenge and that he still had a lot to answer for.
Mr. Ghosn has done nothing today other than tell his truth without the possibility of anyone contradicting him.
The
first people he must answer to are the Renault workers. He is accused of having embezzled money from companies, and if it's true, the Renault workers consider that what he may have done is unacceptable. If it's true, of course. But what the Renault workers really are asking for today is a real industrial project, and an industrial project for the entire alliance, for Renault, Nissan and Mitsubishi.
Shares of Boeing have dropped after the deadly crash of one of its airplanes in Iran. Its share price has already declined 20% since March, when its 737 MAX model was grounded around the world. You can see it closed down nearly 2% on Wednesday. The Ukraine International Airlines flight was a 737-800. That's a different model from the beleaguered MAX. We don't yet know what caused that accident on Wednesday morning. It's understood that one of the black boxes has now been recovered. Iranian officials, though, balking at sending that flight information data to the United States, where Boeing is based. Let's check in on the day's trading action now. Oil prices dropped sharply after Donald Trump appeared to ease away from the prospect of further military action against Iran. Wall Street closing higher in what analysts are describing as a rally of relief. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ each hitting new all-time highs. Major European indices also closed slightly higher, the DAX outperforming despite another slump in Germany's industrial output. The World Bank is forecasting a modest increase in economic growth for 2020, a still relatively weak pace of 2.5%. But its latest report says that the downward risks remain persistent, with trade tensions, financial turmoil, and weak manufacturing among the potential problems. Advanced economies like the US and Eurozone are predicted to experience a sharp slowdown in their GDP growth, while emerging and developing economies will see a slight improvement. France 24 has been speaking to one of the lead authors of that report. Francisca Onsonge said that the resurgence of geopolitical tensions in the Middle East could now further weigh on economic expansion.
You know, geopolitical issues have been a risk to global growth for a while now. And they continue to be a risk, and these events are just a reminder that geopolitical risks continue to be a downside scenario to global growth. As it is, we expect a very fragile global recovery in 2020, and any number of risks can derail that.
And you can see more of that interview and hear more about the possible risks for the global economy in this week's People and Profit. That's on air at 12:45 Paris time on Thursday. The President of the European Commission has warned the UK will have to compromise in order to seal a post-Brexit trade deal with the bloc. Ursula von der Leyen met with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in London, holding talks about talks, which can only be launched after the UK exits the European Union on January 31st. While Johnson has been outwardly optimistic about the chances of a quick and fair trading deal, the EU chief said that a full deal this year remained unlikely, and she said economic ties wouldn't be as close.
There will be tough talks, and each side will do what is best for them. But I can assure you that the United Kingdom will always have a trusted friend and partner in the European Union.
As commuters in Paris prepare for yet another day of strikes and major demonstrations on Thursday, transport authorities here had at least one piece of good news. Residents who hold a year-long transport pass, known as the Pass Navigo, will be reimbursed for their subscription for the month of December, when trains and buses were few and far between. The RATP agreed to that move after a meeting with regional officials. The national SNCF train service is also paying back users for cancelled trips, but it's faced sharp criticism about the slow pace of those repayments. Of course, Mark, those Pass Navigo's costing about €70 per month, which when you haven't actually had the chance to use public transport and have had to perhaps pay more to rent a bike or a car, that €70 will come in handy.
Indeed. Well, it's a nice gesture at least. And of course, we're tracing every step of the public transport shenanigans as they continue. Kate, thank you. Once again, 12:45 Thursday, People and Profit with Kate. As ever, great to see you. Thank you.